Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Olivia Gamber podcast. And today it is my absolute pleasure to bring to the show my entire team here that supports getting career breakthroughs every single day with the top 10% of executives across the United States. And what is unique about the way we assess who we work with at Career Evolved is it's really about alignment with our values, our strategy, our way of doing it. And every single person who you see here today and hear from has gone through our transformation at Career Evolved. They've been trained on a very specific methodology that we have to create a breakthrough on every call. And oh, by the way, this is even before you've even paid us a dime. And the reason we do this is because one of the mantras that I'm really big on is love and serve them all. We want to leave every single person that we speak to better than we found them. And so really being able to provide that clarity, provide that sense of truth, because we know there's so many people on the internet, these days trying to give career advice. But I think really having somebody who's there to get to the truth and get to that next step for you specifically is critical. So that's what we do all day, every day. And I would really love to give the opportunity for every single one of my team members to just speak to what that means to them. So, what is a career breakthrough? How do we go about achieving that on every call? And Max, I would love to hear from you first.
So I would say first off, the way we achieve a breakthrough on every call is by first ensuring that before we actually set the call with this person, are they ready for this level of change? Right? Is this person prioritizing this breakthrough in their life? Right? So that's first and foremost what we do before we actually schedule a call for these people. Now, on that actual call, one of our approaches is to ask them questions in a way where they're actually acknowledging first that there is this problem, right? I think that's first and foremost. And most of us are intrinsically aware enough to know that there is a problem going on, but I think not all of us are willing to do something about it. So on those calls, my goal for everyone that I'm speaking to is to get them to a point mentally where they're actually ready to do something about that problem that they're experiencing in their career. Whether it's that they feel underpaid, undervalued, they don't feel that they're actually passionate about the work that they're doing, right? Whatever it might be, they have to be willing to acknowledge that it's a big enough problem to actually make significant changes to solve, right? So the way we go about that is by, again, really asking them certain questions that get them to acknowledge this problem. Um, a lot of times fear takes over. Right. I think people going through those certain problems in their career, um, they get to a place mentally where they actually start reasoning with themselves and maybe convince themselves that it's not a problem, right? That they're actually blessed to be earning the amount of money that they're earning. They might go back and look at their parents and say, "Oh, my parents never actually earned this amount of money before." Right? So things like that they do inside their heads that convince them that maybe I don't actually need to do something about this, right? Fear takes over and it causes them just to return back to the same pattern. So I think really acknowledging the pain that that problem is causing them, I think really helps with that breakthrough, right? With this profound change where they actually finally break the cycle of this problem that they're having and they finally make a change for the better, right? That's what I would say helps me achieve a breakthrough with someone, regardless if they end up moving forward with us or not, is to get them to commit to actual changes.
This is awesome, Max. And it really just showcases the depth that you're going on these calls because what we call self-limiting beliefs at Career Evolved, you can't see them when you're in them. So being able to serve as a mirror to help people identify and acknowledge those mindset blocks is incredibly valuable because most people don't even realize that they have them, that have kept them in these cycles and keeping them stagnant. So that was really helpful. Thank you for sharing that insight and perspective. Next, I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to Olivia Wilmson.
Hey, thank you so much for having us, Olivia. This is such an incredible, experience that we all have the pleasure of getting to do every day, and to be able to share that, with our audience is really just a privilege. Max, you nailed it on the head. Before we even get a chance to meet them over Zoom, we have to have a phone call with them, a quick phone call, just to really hear from their words, not just what we see on paper, because that's the biggest problem right now is everybody's relying on the thing that the recruiter receives on paper digitally, and that doesn't translate to how someone shows up, how they explain themselves. So for us, we're doing the same thing. We're qualifying people to understand, like, how do you show up? How do you communicate? And to me, that is number one. So a lot of the time I end up feeling way better when I speak to someone before I even get a chance to meet them over Zoom, because maybe I give them a different path. That's a better solution for them at that very moment. And then we haven't wasted time. We haven't wasted energy to meet over Zoom and realize this isn't a good fit. So that's number one. Number two is when we do actually, get on that Zoom, I always make sure that I've thoroughly looked at, the information they've provided in my notes before that call, because I want to be prepared just as much as they are. And to me, that's mutual respect. The problem right now, with the job search and with people's careers is they just don't feel like people are mutually respecting each other and actually care about what they're bringing to the table. So I think it's so important for us as leaders who are evaluating people's, um, you know, career information, that we are mutually prepared for that conversation. So I always ask questions about something I've seen on their LinkedIn or something I noticed about, oh, you're from X and X, city, or I see you went to such and such university. And building rapport, I think, at any point for anybody makes us all feel a little more human. And let's be honest, the job search can feel very lonely and very isolating. And I think that's one of the things that I truly believe that I have been gifted to bring to the table here, especially with Career Evolve. Like, I just have such a deep passion and a deep, um, you know, drive to connect with people on a deeper level than anybody else. So for me, a breakthrough with our clients is making them feel seen, heard, and understood. And when we get them to acknowledge, like Max said, that there is absolutely, without a doubt, serious pain that they're experiencing, when they truly acknowledge that, there are times when people have literally cried in our calls, and I don't want to make them cry, but they've had that revelation, right? They've had that light bulb go off, and they've kind of like surrendered to the emotion that they've been boxed up and been holding back from themselves. And to me, that's more meaningful than anything, whether they enroll or not. I want to make sure that they've truly felt what they've been holding back, so that we can come up with the best solution possible moving forward, whether that's with us or a different path. One thing that I hear all the time, which is one of the number one reasons why, I've continued to be here with Career Evolved, is that people at this level, and we know this, Olivia, we talk about this all the time, are high achievers, right? They are the worst critics. We are all our own worst critic. I know I am. I am harder on myself than anybody else. Nobody needs to be hard on me. I got it. And today somebody said to me, my number one problem, my number one thing that's holding me back, believing in myself. And gosh, guys, I mean, we hear it all the time, right? Like, I wish I could believe in myself more. This guy literally said to me, everybody wants to put me on a pedestal, but I don't. And I said, that's it right there. Who's going to hire you at 150K, 200, 250K, top 10% if you don't believe 110% in what you've got? So to me, if I can give somebody a slice, a percentage better to believe in themselves just a little bit more, that to me is a breakthrough. And I'm so committed to helping people feel more powerful in themselves internally. That to me is way more meaningful than anything. And to be able to carry that into your work, into your family, into your life, that to me is the most important thing. So whenever I walk away from one of these breakthrough calls, Olivia and team, my goal is, did I leave them better than I found them? And we talk about that. And I can say with confidence that every person I truly interact with, I do know in my heart and my soul that I do. And that's important to me and to us. And that's why I love this community. That's why I love what we do. We really are focused on making people better, no matter if they enroll with us or not.
That is so powerful because as you guys can all hear the energy and the passion and the purpose behind what we do, I think anybody that you're going to follow with your career, what's most important is why are they doing what they do? Why do they really do it? And feeling that intention and that purpose, because we do not take this lightly. It is the number one problem. It is someone's entire world, their ability to provide for their family, where they're spending the majority of their life. Like, this is everything to them, and it is to us as well. So for me, it's so important that we never lose sight of that passion for that purpose, because it is why we're all here and why we do what we do. So thank you, Olivia. That was very, very valuable. David Camacho.
Yeah, I think both of you have made excellent points. One of the biggest things that I have noticed is that, and to touch on what you said earlier, Olivia Gamber, a lot of people don't see what they don't see. They don't know that they're experiencing it. What they do is they feel a certain way that they have forces against them. They don't know how to overcome challenges in getting not only their next career, but actually having that alignment they're looking for. I would say that it's probably the top 5 concern of what people want in their career. It's not only money. In fact, most people, whether they are currently unemployed or making a lot of money, the money that they technically want, money is not the root of their problem. It's the alignment. Everybody is looking for alignment. That means they want to work in a certain way, certain scope of responsibility, the right organization, aligned leadership, and also thought processes and maybe how they mentor others, because we are working with top 10%, executives and the like. What I find I hear the most is, after asking these very thoughtful questions that Max is talking about, like, actually getting to the truth of what stops them from moving forward. And that could be any number of things that Olivia Williamson talked about. Getting to the truth of it, I hear this time and time again. I hadn't considered that. So they're experiencing this life and their challenges. They can't put their finger on it. It feels big and mysterious and nebulous. And a lot of it does happen to do with the transaction of the traditional job interview process, where you're selling yourself to multiple people who don't understand your value. They understand it at a different level. And you are selling yourself and you're not getting feedback. You're not getting that experience of value. And so people start to question, where's my place in the world? Is this even something I can even do anymore? I think probably the biggest thing that we give back to people through these breakthroughs is for them to be able to not only see what is the challenge that stops me from moving forward, but identifying and realigning with what their value is. And the questions that we ask are not for them to just check off the box. Yeah, I have this problem. I have that problem. This is the job I want. This is how much money I want. What it is what do you actually want to do with the rest of your life? Early in your career, middle career, late career. They want to be really intentional about it. If you don't even begin to believe that you are worth your intention or where you want to be in your career and your life and the value that it brings back to your life, as you said, with your family, then you're not in alignment. You certainly don't understand the problem, but you're also telling yourself, hey, I don't deserve this ideal. People always tell me, this is what I want. Okay, great. What do you actually want? I usually ask questions more than 3 times. And the reason why is because you always get a different answer. You get a deeper level of what is actually important to the person. When you find out, that's where they have these breakthroughs. That's where they go, oh my gosh, you're right. Actually, this is the work I want to do. This is who I want to work with. This is the type of organization. This is the purpose and the cause. And this is why it aligns with my values. And maybe at a deeper level, how I operate as a human being with the rest of the world. And I want to do that through my work. I deserve to do that. And I also deserve to be paid a premium for it, because the way that I operate and what I value is so important that it would be a steal for you to be able to work with someone like me if you could get me at whatever their target salary is. When people get to that conclusion, after you've asked them the really hard questions that uncover the truth and what their purpose is, that's where I see time and time again the breakthrough. You can see it on their face. And further down the road, when you see them do the work, you watch them change and become that person. They can't even recognize that person that had the blinders on, that had no perspective, that wasn't aware of their patterns. That's where I see the breakthroughs happen in these conversations.
Absolutely. And I think it's just so interesting. There's a lot of layoffs happening right now, a lot of people unemployed, and so many people immediately lose sight of their value and their beliefs around it when they're not working. So I think just having that outside perspective is really important, because the moment people lose their job, it's like they lose their whole sense of value and identity, and their world's upside down. So it's so helpful to get grounded on facts. And so thank you, David. That was very, very helpful. And last, we've got Sandy.
Hi, Olivia. Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. It's so exciting. I wake up every day just energized and so grateful to be a part of this team because we're literally changing people's lives. And to wake up every day knowing that I'm responsible for impacting someone's life, it's just the most fulfilling feeling that I could ever have. And I'm so grateful to you, Olivia. I'm so grateful to the entire team. You guys are amazing. I'm inspired by everybody. And I've had phone calls. Every single phone call, I come with the intention to serve. I come with the intention to expose what's holding them back, their limiting beliefs, their self-worth. And what I find is most people, they want to be heard. They just want someone to just listen to them. And it's so hard to find people who actually just listen, like deeply listen and deeply care. And I'm all about encouraging people, motivating them, uncovering like how do you feel about yourself? And if you give someone like the mic and you give them your ear, they will tell you everything that's been swept away in their heart. And it's just so crazy to uncover all of these feelings, these emotions, these limiting beliefs. It's truly like astounding what we uncover during these breakthrough sessions. And I know every single time we have a phone call with somebody, I know for a fact we have the intention of having a breakthrough because um of course if you're going to sign up with us, we will do everything in our power to land you that six-figure opportunity, whether you're already making six figures and you want to get to the 500,000 mark. Or I find that most people when I initially call them, they don't know how much they're worth. They're just like on the fence. Like the other day I was speaking to one of our clients, Matthew, and in the beginning, he's like, "Oh, well, I'm making 70K, but I'm not sure if this is the right fit for me because I'm not an executive. I'm not that high at the level that you guys are talking about." And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, why would you say that? Why would you say that? This guy has 20 years experience in the industry. This guy has been a director, a manager. He wakes up
Wow.
at 5 a.m. every day, and he actually says that he does not want to be remote. And how many employers complain that they can't get their employees to come to the office? And this guy is like dying to go to the office, and he's deeply dissatisfied with his remote position. And I'm like, Matthew, this is bizarre. Okay, so you don't want to be remote and you want to show up every day. He's like, yeah, I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm ready to go and I love people. And for us to uncover all of these things that he's deeply dissatisfied with, and for us to kind of be like the doctor and say, hey, listen, we hear you, we're there for you, we know exactly what to do to get you to your breakthrough, to your six-figure job that you love. And of course, people want the money. Like we're dealing with people's livelihoods. Money is so important because that's how you live. That's how you support your family. That's how you pay your bills. And what I find is when I do speak to our clients, the majority of them, as David was saying, um, yeah, they're not satisfied with the compensation, but more so, they're not satisfied with the alignment. They're not aligned with their boss or their company. They're not aligned it's just not, they don't have that work-life balance, and they're looking for that happiness. They're looking for that fulfillment. And the more we help people achieve that fulfillment and achieve that worth and that happiness, it's just truly the most satisfying thing that I've ever experienced. And I wake up every day and I'm like, let's go, let's do this. How many lives can we impact? How many breakthroughs can we have? And it's truly the most fulfilling experience of my life. And I'm really, really grateful to be a part of this team.
We are so grateful to have you as well, Sandy. And one thing you said that really I want to double down on is it's so rare for anyone to get anyone to hold space for an hour to focus and dissect their career and ask the right questions. I mean, quite frankly, I can't remember even the last year that that's happened for me. And for most people, they've never experienced it. So what we do is so valuable. And we really take this seriously because we know how serious it is to all the folks that we're speaking to. So I just want to say that if this is resonating with you and you've listened this far, I would encourage you to go to careerevolve.com/schedule and book a breakthrough session. And just like we've said here, there's absolutely no goal. We don't know if we're a fit. We're not for everyone. But what we will come to is getting to the truth. And that's something we are incredibly skilled and gifted at doing. And we are really, just like our clients are looking for alignment with their boss and their company, we are looking for alignment with our clients. We're in a really blessed position where we're in high demand. There are so many people that need to upgrade their career, that need to upgrade their job and get an executive role, but not everyone's ready to do the work and go deep and get a transformation. So we are not for everyone, but when we are for you, it's like rocket fuel. It's like breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. And I mean, the last group call we were on, I just sat there in awe watching all these celebrations of our clients because everybody's winning. And so I leave you with that. And if anybody here on this call that you heard today, whether it was Max Martinez, Olivia Wilmson, David Camacho, or Sandy Ayesh, if they resonated with you, I'd encourage you to connect with them on LinkedIn. Have a chat. We're here to serve, and we are really great at what we do. We've had thousands of conversations. I've been in this game a decade. We've seen it all, and there's zero judgment. All we ask is that you come to us prepared to get to the truth and really get to the truth. There's so much surface level career advice out there. That's not what we're here to do. We don't hand out band-aids. We're here to get to the root cause of your problem so you can finally see that career breakthrough once and for all. And so again, if this resonated, you listened this far, go check out www.careerevolved.com/schedule. And you'll book a 1-hour Zoom call and you'll get next steps on how to prepare for that call by email. But thank you all for your time and your insight. It's been a really great conversation.
Thanks, Olivia.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, guys.